Hello, welcome. This is going to be a trade review of the week of December 2nd to December 6th. I finished the week up around 2R, so nothing crazy, honestly, more of just like a break-even week. But good, all things considered, that, we're trading over here at ATH, and just the way the market's been moving recently has been quite difficult, at least from what I've felt. So yeah, I just wanted to, as usual, outline a few good trades that I didn't take, as well as review my losses and wins for the week, and as well as just general thoughts. This was a pretty good setup right off the open that I wish I would have taken. These two pivots right here were perfect. Comes down, post this channel to the top, start faking out right at around it, come back in, reclaim it. There's a little bit of air here, and we have this right shoulder head, left shoulder structure. Nice candle with the a nested micro inverse head and shoulder as well. And I'll take those second breaks with the strong candle closing above the algo, and I'll be longing right there. Next, this was pretty nice actually. Right when we broke up here, I've noticed there's some potential for some like pretty aggressive anti-algos. So if you take this pivot right here, this pivot right here, you draw a line between them, right, like so. You post it to the to the top, and you'll have to excuse me, I've been sick, so a little bit of a cough. And you'll notice that we come out and we failed to break out, and then you can short. And again, we failed to break out right here, and that was part of my short. And we eventually do close above it and get that nice continuation, which I'll touch on later. But I just wanted to show that chart here. Yeah. So like, for example, I take this pivot here, right? And I take this pivot here, post it to the top. You have this really aggressive bear channel. All the breakouts to the top, you can fade, failed breakout, fade to the downside, targeting the bottom of the channel. So that's absolutely gorgeous. And then come here, close, finally get a close above, long, stop here, and you get your 2R, 1.5R, whatever. So yeah, I shorted here. I did use this middle band to short. You see how clean this top red algo is here. You come down, break down eventually, come back and retest it as resistance. That's one of the main setups I look for. Yeah, right here, short, take profits. Then we have a pretty nice close above here on this yellow algo, where it does taper. I mean, it's the same one from earlier, and we get the second close above, and I get that continuation trade with the left shoulder, head, right shoulder, as well as the fact that we do start to taper from here, this pivot, to this pivot here at the bottom, this pivot to this one, showing that the strength of the selling is weakening, and we do get a close above that tapered algo, giving me a long entry. That concludes that day. That was a pretty good day. I felt relaxed and in control of my trading, so happy with that. Next is we had this top pivot here, posted to the bottom. Notice how the channel holds really well, but I also had this more aggressive, less tapered buying channel, which makes for a lower quality short from here to here, and then here to here. This is the second break, first break here, second break here. I do short, and we do end up anti-algoing, like getting caught by the tapered teal channel. And this would have actually been a good long entry. But my mistake here was not so much this trade entry, but more so just the stop. I allowed myself to get stopped all the way here, when really my best bet was just to, once we reclaim this teal, just put it to break even. Put it here. Like, reduce my stop from 17 points to like 9, And then we really have like nothing for quite some time. This is just really difficult price action, very difficult to trade in my opinion. Yeah, not friendly at all. But we do have that first break here of this red algo, and then the second break right here. that you'd be able to long with the stop here, and you would have, hit a nice target. But I didn't like this, although structure, yes, right. And then I drew this white from these bottom pivots, and it was the sort of thing where when we're just choppy around here, it makes it so difficult to be able to find a clean setup. And I ultimately just ended up taking this, seeing this anti-algo here, shorting below kind of impulsively, or well, very much impulsively, forcing a bad hand. And we didn't even get this close below. This is just absurd chop, and I got stopped. So this, I shouldn't have taken a trade, knowing that, the probabilities weren't in my favor and that I was forcing a bad hand. And here, this one I should have at least, the very least, halved my risk. It's late. I'm sorry. This was a pretty nice day. Some nice setups for sure. So there was these two top pivots here, right, that I had drawn, posted to the bottom. And we have this beautiful hold right here. See how it comes down, anti-algos, and you have a long setup right there at the bottom of the channel. Incredible setup. Great risk to reward, But I had, what did I have here? I had this yellow algo as well that I drew, given these pivots, posting it to the top. Let me change the color. No, not the red. Let's do white. Come up, kind of teeter around here. Can't really enter here on a second break since there's no air. It's just chopping around. Come down. This would have been like a second entry short on these algo breaks, but it would have failed, and that's okay. The market did, if you shorted here, your stop does kind of have to be above here, right? Because this is the head, left shoulder. So what we do is we come back and we retest that red algo, right, for a right shoulder, and then we also have these bottom pivots here, these top pivots here, that we post right there. Beautiful structure, and we end up trading down very nicely. Then we have the anti-algo here that I showed, really nice long setup, and the continuation of this yellow algo, which I had here and here. We have the second break here because we had already broken over here. Sorry, it's messy, I know, and let me just clean this up a bit. Yeah, so second break, we finally get that close above. I'm longing here. We do get pretty close, and we drop down off of some news or whatever. And I got stopped to the absolute lowest tick of this bar, the absolute lowest tick, which is, sucks, but it is what it is. But eventually left shoulder, right shoulder, head, left shoulder, right shoulder. We did have this more tapered green algo from here and here, posted to the top right here. First break, form that right shoulder support retracement. Then we get a nice close above on this green algo, giving us the continuation long structure there. So, pretty nice day. Some good setups on both ends. This was Thursday. This was a tough day for me. I had drawn, what did I had drawn? I had drawn this algo here, this white one, as well as this white one, and I was waiting for some sort of retracement. But unfortunately, the way the market moved was just, we just flushed right down. I didn't have any opportunities there. So I rather just took this pivot and this pivot, posted it here. You see how it held so beautifully, and come down, retrace, and then we anti-algo, and then we second break it. This would have been a beautiful short setup, but I hadn't drawn that algo, the yellow one. I'd only drawn the white one. Then we have this orange algo here, and I take a second break of this. First break, come down, second break, trying to grab this previous day's liquidity here. Didn't end up working. I think part of the issue would have been having your stop loss here at the head of this potential structure, but the trade didn't even go to 2R anyways. So that failed. That was like a B tier setup. This would have been an A tier setup. This was gorgeous. You know, the head right here, all of this incredible liquidity here, grabbing on this flush down, breaking low of day, right? Um, and as I mentioned in the um, other day's analysis, um, the market's been doing this sort of thing lately where I'm able to draw these really aggressive algos like this one and this one, pivot here, immediately anti-algo at the top of the channel. You can short, it would have hit 2R. Right here, failed breakout, short would have hit 2R. Beautiful setups. So there were other opportunities, but I think I had to run off to work after that. This was my Friday. This pivot, come here, first break. This would have been a second break. I don't know if I would have taken this. We break down and we come and we retest this as resistance. And I've been noticing we've been doing this a lot, retesting here as resistance, and then, you know, which would have been a trigger to short. But in this case, I was wondering to myself, like, wow, like, you know, this doesn't feel right, especially given this buy up, right? We've been doing this a lot. Huge rally right off the opening, and then we just kind of chop around for a little bit, form some like bullish structure, and we eventually break that like 11 a.m. or 10:38, like in 11 a.m. high, or that initial balance high. But it chops around quite a bit to get there. It needs to build, you know, a good amount of liquidity. But this trade, I had the first pivot. You know, we had already kind of faked out here. I'm glad I avoided this short. I just didn't have a right feeling about it. Come up, second break, nice bar. My stop would have had to have been below here, but it was just too much risk. So I kept my stop below here, kind of teetered around, and I cut the trade here for a reduced loss. I'm wondering if I should have like moved it here maybe, but it is what it is. And then I have the second band. You know, see how we hold support of the first band? Then we have the second band, close above, long, stop below here, and we hit our 2R. And then for the whole rest of the day, you see, this is an example of the middle band. So here's like a middle band algo, right? That I talk about I don't really like doing. I did a middle band algo trade on Monday. Here, breakdown, beautiful resistance, short, failed. Second break, beautiful short, failed. You know, so it's like we're just kind of like chopping up in this channel here forever. Like we don't have to break, you know. You can't front run this breakdown. But yeah, that basically concludes a lot of my trading this week. I did switch from 1.5R to 2R. I need to collect more data on that, but it basically just comes from noticing, like, one, you know, there's two, my losses and wins are too close in size. And also just, like, I feel better doing 2R. I feel more in control. But yeah, I think, like, you know, like, the biggest thing for me, man, is the highs and lows of trading. I wish I didn't derive so much of my, I think I just care so much, you know. I really want to be great. I want to do this. It means everything to me. And because of that, I derive so much of my identity, my sense of self, my ego from trading. So I let my highs get very high and I let my lows get very low. On the red days and the green days. And you know, there's a post from a friend of mine that was talking about how he would get jealous of all these people in these trading discords posting their green days and, you know, being all excited over their green P&Ls and things like that. And he eventually came to the conclusion that a lot of these people who were doing these things must not have been all that profitable or very good traders, because the good traders, they don't focus on that sort of stuff. They're used to it. It's part of the business. They're just merely reporting into work. They're focused on the process. And the process includes the green days and it includes the red days. Rather, their key point of interest is centered around the ability to journal, the ability to reflect and grow and learn from their lessons and make mistakes and make the mistakes again, but eventually come to a point where they learn. And that's where I have to be, I think, with the next step in my trading. I don't have the same amount of anxiety as I used to about trading. I enjoy trading a lot, but I used to be quite anxious going into the market, just because I was stressed about green or red. But now it's the thing where I've fixed that, but now it's about knowing and trusting myself, my system, my work that I've put in. You know, like I deserve to be comfortable with my trading. And I think that's the next step in improving myself as a person, my daily quality of life, but also just my trading as is. So anyways, that concludes today's video. Thank you.